My name is Alexei Leal. I'm from Latvia, which is a small country that used to be part of the Soviet Union. Now it's part of the Europe Union. I came to Miami when I was 17, so basically half of my life. I graduated from FIU in a major in finance and real estate. And I always was curious about having my own business. I tried many of them, and I finally start e-commerce. So I had a website, few websites, and then I start more deep into marketplaces. So now I've been selling over 7 years into different marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, MercadoLibre, which are becoming now over 2 years of experience. And mainly was supplements. Now I'm diversifying to different categories as well, like home goods, pet supplies. And I also have a fulfillment center, which basically fulfills for all my Amazon stores. I also have few private label, some supplements, some other categories. And again, right now, last year revenue was over $20 million. It's always ups and downs, a lot of restrictions sometimes in the supplement category, but overall, I guess I'm doing pretty much well. I also part of the Wizard of Amazon, which is the biggest sellers group. I'm hosting the Spanish part, and sometimes I also do a presentation in English group as well. But it's a very great group for any sellers that want to join. I also part of the entrepreneurial book club that you can find us on Facebook or Instagram as well. But Instagram, it's Read, Grow, and Win. And what else? And that'll be all.
Yeah, what is your tip on selling on MercadoLibre?
So my tip would be the platform itself is growing a lot, but I would recommend people to sell the products that already have like a global demand. You know, if you're selling soda, I would start selling like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and all that. You know, the brand that is already globally known. It's much easier that way. So basically, wholesaling. Then start like just a private label. It's a little bit harder because they don't have a tools yet to like a PPC. They do have some marketing, but not as specific for like just say private label, you know. So that would be my tip.
Is there a way to see in MercadoLibre which brands are more popular, which are not? Do they have
Yes,
a best-selling rank system?
There's no ranks, but there is a platform called Newbie Metrics. So it basically gives you the amount of sales per SKU, per store. You know, you can segment like that, and it's called Newbie Metrics. So, and you can select the country that you want to start selling because Mercado Libre is all over the South America. So you can select, let's say, Argentina or Colombia or Mexico, and it's going to give you a specific number that product sells in that market, you know.
Can you share a tip on diversification in e-commerce in general?
So I've been talking about a lot lately about this. I was in a few other podcasts saying the same thing. I'm very big on diversification, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but the times like we are right now in crisis or huge changes, it's always work out for me, you know, because now let's say I am in a different categories. I am in a different platforms. So some platforms doing well, some categories doing really well. Some of them are not doing well, you know, and because I'm diversifying, I'm basically I'm good, you know. I'm not suffering in any sort. So when everybody's doing well, doing diversification kind of overwhelms you because it's too many things you have to, and it's in too many niches, too many categories, too many platforms, and it can get overwhelmed. But but you're still doing good as well. You're not, maybe not doing extremely good because there's too many things. But when the downside comes, like in this case, this pandemic, because I'm being diversified into so many things, I'm doing basically really well, because one of the categories, one of the platforms are doing really well. So it covers all the losses on the other side, and I'm doing it really good. And it happened to me many times in my business experience. Always there's ups and downs, and when you are well diversified, it's like very similar to compare with the portfolio of stocks. There's always advisor recommend you to have bonds, some percentage of your portfolio bonds. So when stocks goes down, you have something that leverage that down. Same thing with the business. You should always diversify into different products, different categories, different platforms. So when something goes down in one of the things, you have something that covers you. So yeah, that would be my topic on diversification.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And let's talk about tips for sellers who would like to start selling health supplements on Amazon. Maybe somebody would like to launch their own brand and they're thinking that they're gonna also sell their product on Amazon. Any tip that you can share about it?
Yes, the tip I would give for the people, let's say private label, in the private label sector for the supplements, to be successful in Amazon, first of all, you need to also have your audience outside the Amazon. Just launch your product and just be 100% on Amazon. You're not going to be successful. You need to have social media presence. You need to have your own website. You need to have your email list, all that before you basically launching the product on Amazon for the supplements, because it's a very, very competitive category. Now, other tip is if you're doing that and you don't have all the component, at least get the product that is unique. Okay, because if you're gonna be just any protein, there's so many brands and so many brands with so much money that are just gonna outbeat you and you're not gonna be successful. You need to have something unique that you can advertise. Let's say any unique special keyword that you can, or an ingredient that you can add into your product that can basically be very different from everybody else if you want to compete in that field, in that category. So that would be my advice, and anybody who want to start private label. Now, if it's a wholesale, make sure you have a good contract with the brand that you're gonna work with, because there's a lot of work also, believe it or not, wholesaling. And if you have exclusivity and you're working on ranking the brand, and if you don't have a solid contract, the brand can just start selling to other people, and a lot of people are gonna jump into your listing, and they just basically piggyback all the work you've done. And I'm talking about in my based on my experience, because there was a brand that I was wholesaling. I did a lot of work on ranking the products because there was many SKUs. All the work that been done, like on optimizing the listing, the pay-per-click, some external traffic. We ranked the product really well, but we didn't have a written contract. It was based on verbal contract, basically. And they start wholesaling outside the Amazon as well. And there's a lot of people start jumping to my listings. Well, technically my listing, because I'm the one who created them, but it wasn't my brand, So they start jumping into a listing. They start, basically a lot of people start piggybacking on all the work I was doing. I was paying pay-per-click. They were not, there was a lot of money that was spending on my end. And people, and then when I start saying to the brand, why are you doing this? You need to control who you sell. They basically didn't care. They didn't care. And I told them, if you're not gonna control it, you basically all the sales gonna drop. So they didn't want to listen to me. They basically were thinking about today and didn't think for a long run. And what happened to them from the 100,000 that was selling on a monthly basis on their brand that was done by our team, they went down to like $10,000 a month. And again, I'm not working with them anymore. I still have some inventory because I was purchasing the inventory up front, you know, three to 4 months inventory supply, you know, so because you know how when you rank the product, you want to make sure that you have inventory. So I bought that inventory up front all the time. And, you know, they did that. So my advice is have a really good contract. Right now I'm getting into another similar brand, a similar project, and I'm preparing my contract like never before. Like it's gonna be really detailed, so nobody can basically screw me again. So yeah.
Can I have a question? I have a question about contract.
Sure.
What are the most important things that you're going to be putting in the contract?
So one of the things, number one, and I'm really emphasizing that, to have a control over the transparency label. You want to make sure that the transparency label, it's a little bit tricky because transparency label is directly to brand, but there is a way to basically you can have a say. You can control how many transparency labels going to print. So basically tell the brand to the communication with the transparency label department you're going to have. Okay, so that's one. Second, make sure that you have a 3-year contract. I want to make sure I have a 3-year contract because, you know, the first 6 months, it's going to be basically all work and no money. Okay. So I don't want people just have a 1-year contract. So 6 month work and then 6 months making some money. Doesn't work for me. So 3 years contract. Of course I have to perform. I'm not going to say in 1 year, I'm not going to sell anything. There need to be some numbers, which is also, you know, protected to a brand. They can walk away if there's no sales or something like that. What else? I also gonna do, which I didn't do, again, it's a learning curve with the private label thing. All the images that I'm gonna do for the brand optimization, you know, when you do the, how you call that? Forget the name of it. The A content. The A content, all the images that you provide, I'm gonna basically trademark them. So all the images that's gonna be used in the listing, they're mine. You know, so anybody jump to a listing, they cannot use my images. So that's the other thing I want to make sure it's in the contract and it's done. You know, so yeah.
Great. That was very interesting. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I hope all the information I provided is gonna help you to your audience.
Thank you so much.